The teaser trailer has turned the biggest theory about the film's villain on its head. Since the release of Godzilla vs. Kong, there have been all sorts of ideas about the identity of the next antagonist in the MonsterVerse. Given the vast gallery of Godzilla villains, there were plenty of suitable candidates for the role. Evidence points to SpaceGodzilla as the villain of Godzilla vs. Kong 2. Godzilla vs. Kong 2 villain reveals a twist in the SpaceGodzilla theory. Revelation of the Godzilla vs. Kong 2 villain provokes why the War of the Titans happened. The new MonsterVerse villain proves it doesn't need SpaceGodzilla. Of course, some stood out more than others. The direction taken by the MonsterVerse, combined with hints from the sequel's synopsis, helped narrow down the possibilities. It made sense that if the monster in question wasn't an original Titan, the creature would be one of the villains from Godzilla's previous films. Gigan, Biollante, SpaceGodzilla, and even Ghidorah seemed like logical options at one point or another. Arguably, the theory that gained the most traction was related to SpaceGodzilla, and for good reason, but the big revelation in the sequel's teaser trailer flipped that theory on its head. There were good reasons to suspect that the MonsterVerse interpretation of SpaceGodzilla would be the next opponent for Godzilla and Kong. The speculation began with unused concept art from a Godzilla vs. Kong art book that supposedly hinted at the creature. Welcome to Nerd Insights, your channel for nerdy news. As this is a news channel, make sure you're subscribed and have the notification bell activated, so you receive a notification when new news comes out. Just by reading the title, you'll know what it's about and can decide whether or not to watch the video with the news. That's why the bell is important, and remember, we have videos every day. A cave mural depicted what appeared to be a battle from the War of the Titans, showing various members of Godzilla and Kong's respective species, as well as a winged creature resembling Godzilla, which was the central figure in the painting. The fact that it was colored blue, while all Godzillas and Kongs were colored red, gave the impression that it was an enemy to both sides. What this mural seemed to suggest was that the War of the Titans had a secret villain that no one knew about. In Godzilla vs. Kong, it was understood that the conflict was between their respective species and not involving third parties, but this painting indicated that both sides eventually united against this winged Godzilla. As for what this monster actually was, speculation arose that if it were an evil Godzilla, it was likely the MonsterVerse's own SpaceGodzilla. In Godzilla vs. SpaceGodzilla, he was the twisted result of a cosmic mutation of Godzilla's DNA. Toho's SpaceGodzilla didn't have wings, but his power level in his 1994 film would justify him playing such a role in the MonsterVerse. What the MonsterVerse ultimately revealed about the villain of Godzilla vs. Kong 2 is essentially the opposite of the theories derived from the concept art. The Godzilla vs. Kong, the new Empire teaser trailer indicates that their common enemy in the film is a member of Kong's species. This goes against the speculation about SpaceGodzilla but simultaneously supports an aspect of it. The central idea behind the theory was that the War of the Titans began as a conflict between Godzilla and Kong's ancestors but culminated in a team-up against the evil Godzilla. Part of this theory is starting to look accurate, but with an evil Kong filling the role that was thought to belong to SpaceGodzilla, it appears that an evil Godzilla didn't instigate the War of the Titans, but an evil Kong may have done just that. In the teaser trailer, the villainous ape is shown surrounded by the bones of what seem to be Godzilla and Kong's ancestors. This implies that the ape played a role in the War of the Titans and may have been the reason they were fighting in the first place. This, combined with the knowledge that he survived the conflict, signals that he was the true villain of the War of the Titans. This is essentially what the SpaceGodzilla theory suggested, although with a different monster in focus. In addition to teasing the identity of the new Titan villain, the MonsterVerse provides a clue as to why these two Titan species were at war. In the teaser trailer, the villainous ape is revealed to have unnaturally glowing blue eyes. This detail forms a connection between the monster and the hollow earth energy source that powers Godzilla. It seems that this Kong has somehow discovered a way to harness that energy for himself, which means his efforts to steal Godzilla's natural energy source were likely a motivation for the ancient battle. If he led the Kongs in taking it away from the Godzillas, it would provide a functional explanation for the conflict between their ancestors. This may also be related to why the Kongs had access to it in the Hollow Earth Temple, as seen in Godzilla vs. Kong. By heading in this direction with the new villain, the MonsterVerse has the necessary tools to properly address a series of questions raised by Godzilla vs. Kong. Why the Kongs were able to tap into Godzilla's energy, the reason for the war, and the story behind the Kong's departure from the Hollow Earth are mysteries that the new MonsterVerse villain can unravel. Simultaneously, it can also meet, and perhaps exceed, expectations regarding the additions the film will bring to the MonsterVerse. Mythology. The villain proves that the MonsterVerse doesn't need SpaceGodzilla to create an exciting backstory for the War of the Titans and a worthy opponent for Godzilla and Kong. What do you think of this SpaceGodzilla theory? Does it make sense to you? Please comment and share your opinion because it's important for this channel. And of course, subscribe to Nerd Insights to support the channel. With the notification bell activated, you'll be the first to know what's happening in the nerd world. Thank you for watching, and until next time.